Usually when I do my talk, I make it very interactive. Okay, so very interactive. Number 1, para magising kayo. Okay, number 2, para, matuto tayo. Alright? Okay, I'd like to start the session by giving you a classroom scenario. Okay? Kasi mga karamihan sa atin mga SPED, no? SPED teachers, kaya malapit yan sa puso ko. So let's start with a scenario. And this is a real case scenario. Merong isang estudyante, I think at that time, he was in grade 5. So yung batang ito yung scenario. Every time na uupo siya sa classroom, lahat ng materials niya sa harap, binabalibag niya yan. Talagang balibag niya. Pagkatapos niyang ibalibag yung gamit niya, uupo na siya. Parang walang nangyari. Now, yung teacher niya, o yung teacher sa school na yon, they tried everything, no? Yung malumanay na pakiusap, hanggang medyo pabigat na yung pangdisiplina. Okay, that is the scenario. Muna. Okay. So let's try to read the behavior before I go into ABA. So kung kayo yung teachers, o kung kayo yung teacher ng batang yon, anong gagawin nyo? At ano yung intindi nyo sa behavior na yan? Okay, ma'am, dahil ang ganda ng ngiti mo, go ahead. Now, again, walang tama or maling sagot. Okay? Walang right or wrong answer. Kasi dito tayo matututo. Okay? And there's no such thing. In my class, I always tell my students, there is no such thing as failure. It only becomes a failure if we don't learn from it. Okay? Ma'am, go ahead. Anong gagawin mo? Pretend ikaw yon, yung teacher.
Good morning, everyone. I am Teacher Donna. I am a special education teacher for 13 years. With that scenario given by Ma'am Gina, naisip ko kagad yung isang situation in one of my students. The best thing na ginawa ko sa bata is learning by doing. Ipinakita ko muna sa bata ang proper way on how he will behave. Since meron akong isang student, a Down syndrome, na madali siyang maka-adapt kung papaano siya magko-comply ng instruction ko, everyday ginawa namin yon. Until such time, natuto din yung batang yon. Patience is a virtue. Hindi tayo pwedeng mag-stop kung sa palagay natin yung feelings natin ay hanggang doon na lang. Until such time, thank you po.
Very good. That's from a teacher's perspective. Okay, later on makikita natin sa shift from ABA. Okay. So again, like I said, malapit ang puso ko sa mga teachers. At yung tiyaga ni Ma'am Donna, kahanga-hanga. Hindi ba? Pero sometimes, dahil nga mali ang basa natin sa behavior, wala. Okay, let's see muna. Ma'am Dons, see. And also everyone, when you teach, whether bata or you're doing a seminar like this or a workshop, when you correct or you give a feedback, you give feedback doon sa behavior, not the person. Okay, kaya wala tayong kaawayan. Just the behavior, not the person. Let's see. Sabi ng Ma'am Donna, number 1, when you are assessing a child, you focus on the behavior. Tanggalin lahat. What you think, what you feel, what you know, remove. Number 2, do not compare it to other kids. Focus. And kahit sa, even my students, pag mag-take sila ng questions, you focus on the question. Huwag kayong magdagdag bawas. So let's focus on the behavior, not the child, not other children, but that. So let's see. Okay. So, eto na yon, yung bata. Ginawa na lahat. So, yung patients, Ma'am Donna, na-exhaust na yon. Ubus na yung patient yon. Lahat na eh. Hindi ka magle-level up. Now, first of all, tignan mo yung behavior. What is the behavior there? Throwing of things. Simple, straightforward. No, wala yung I think, I feel. Throwing of things, period, behavior. Now, what triggered the behavior? What do you think triggered the behavior? Because we have to understand before I start my lecture. What triggered the behavior? Ma'am, ano sa palagay mo? So you identified, very straight and simple, Ma'am Dons. You identified the behavior, throwing of things. What triggered the behavior?
Siguro po, ma'am, baka po sa family background po niya.
Don't go too far. Focus on what's there.
Okay po. Baka yun po yung tama na nasa isip niya na ginagawa niya.
Okay. Now, that scenario kay kay Ma'am Joy, again, I think, I feel. That's not about the behavior. Because kung ganyan yung thinking mo, that will frustrate you. So, what triggered the behavior? Plain and simple. Yung mga libro, yung mga materyales na nasa harap. Don't go too far. Then, what's the consequence? What do you do after that? Pag nagtapon siya, what do you do? Barbara?
Ma'am, baka ayaw niya nung masyadong maraming clutter. So,
See, again, don't add
Apo, yung isa bata. Okay po.
After siya nagtapon.
Ano mo na lang, kunin mo po, tabi mo somewhere na hindi niya makita. Kasi yung clutter.
What do you do? Pag nagtapon yung bata, ang sabi mo, exactly, what do you do immediately? See, that's why you don't overthink. Because you overthink, ang tanga-tanga yan, yung mga aggression behavior.
Papulot mo sa kanya? Papulot mo sa kanya.
See, again, you just simplified that. You just simplified that scenario into what? The behavior, throwing of things, what triggered the behavior, the books, what do you do after? It's either you reprimand or you ask the child to pick up the things. Straightforward. Wala kang I think, I feel. Straightforward. That's it. Now, let's see. Kung yung ni Ma'am Barbara is you pick up the things. Kahit na yun ang pinapagawa, you reprimand, pick up the things, or talk nicely, nauulit pa rin yung behavior. Ibig sabihin nun, you are not really correcting the child. In fact, you are reinforcing the behavior without you realizing it. Okay? Now, nag-iba na yung definition ng punishment ngayon. Ang punishment ay hindi na yung palo-palo or inflicting physical, emotional, or psychological pain. Ang definition na ngayon ng punishment in terms of ABA is a decrease in behavior. In that scenario, let's say pinagalitan mo yung bata. Ginagawa pa rin niya. So there is an increase in behavior. To you, it's a punishment, but for the child, it's a reinforcement. So without you realizing it, you inadvertently reinforce the behavior. It's nice? What do you think before I proceed? Now, let's go back. You go back to your answer a while ago and try to reflect on it. Go ahead.
I have to talk the child first. What's happening?
Go ahead po. Ano?
I have to talk the child first. What's happening on
You have to
him?
go back because your talking is already ineffective. Your talking, now, again, you see, now, sabi ni Ma'am Donna, I have to talk to the child first. That is already ineffective because you tried that. And it's still there because, wag na yun that will only frustrate you because you already talked to the child and still ineffective. So, just reflect on what you know now and what was your answer a while ago. Wala pa. That's okay. So, reflect sabi mo na, before we proceed, let's just get the ball roll.
Napagalitan mo na, nasabihan mo na.
No, just after you know now what is about
Yes.
thinking that prior to me discussing.
Ma'am, sa susunod, i-anticipate mo na yung mga susunod niyang gagawin, ile-less mo yung reactions mo sa kanya kasi baka doon siya natutuwa sa routine ng reactions.
Again, so what will I do if this is what I did? Okay, this is what I did. Nakita ko na, no? So what we know up to now, we were able to identify the behavior, what triggered the behavior, at ano yung ginawa mo after na hindi effective. So anong ginawa ko? When I found out yung tatlo na yon, ang ginawa ko, initially, I did not do anything. I did not do anything. I continued the lesson. Kasi nung binigay sa akin, yun na yung scenario. I continued the lesson, kung ano yung ginagawa. Pero, what I did is, during the lesson, ako yung nag-a-ask ng help sa kanya. Because during that assessment, I found out na yung batang yon napakatalino. At ang mentality niya, kung matalino ka, you're not supposed to ask questions. You're not. Now, yung behavior niya na yon pala ang way of saying, teacher, please help me. Kasi pagkabalibag niya yung gamit na yon, uupo siya. Maghihintay siya ng reaction ng teacher. Alam mong escape yon kung tatakasan ka niya. Hindi siya tumakas eh. Pagkabalibag niya, uupo siya. So wala akong ginawa. Tuloy ang lesson niya doon sa previous teacher, but during the lesson, ako yung humihingi ng tulong. Please help teacher. I don't know. I don't know. Then na-realize niya na, oy, si teacher pala, hindi rin alam. So he started asking for help. So what happened there, I replaced the behavior of yung balibag niya ng things by asking. Okay, that's called functional communication training. You replace the behavior with a more appropriate one. So, asking for help is more appropriate. Pero hindi ko diniretsyong sinabi. Ako muna hanggang nakita niya, oy, teacher is also asking for help. When he started asking for help, that was the only time I explained to him the concept of asking for help. So, kita mo yon? Pinasok mo yung mundo niya without him realizing. Okay? Any lessons learned there?
I had the chance to, I am not a SPED teacher, ma'am.
Go ahead po.
Yes po. I had the chance to handle for about 5 years a Down syndrome Malaysian kid. And she has, ma'am, what you said a while ago, she had the tendency to throw things. Whatever thing she got on her hands, she would throw. So at first, on my first year, I don't know what to do. Until I realized, ma'am, what you said, that you stop and you entered the child without her knowing that you already entered her world.
Later on, I will discuss that, ano yung functions ng behavior. So, okay, with that, we can start. Okay, our goal for today is what is ABA, understand the goals and target skills of ABA, know the different methods and approaches in ABA, especially those with neurodevelopmental disability, and intervention strategies to improve academic skills. Now, kanina, sabi ni Ma'am Queenie nga, atypical, no? Dagdagan natin yan, Ma'am Queenie. Ang tawag ng yon is neurodivergent. So, neurotypical for the mga siblings na wala, and then the neurodivergent. Now, isa pa, dati ang mga issues natin dito is, ano bang tawag sa kanila? Children with disabilities, or ano yun, special, or person first, or disability first. Actually, ang sa akin, hindi ganon, no? I don't, this is my personal thing, no? I don't believe in, ano yun, yung disability first, or the child first. Simple lang, paano natin sila tawagin? Tawagin nyo sila sa pangalan nila. Regardless of disability. If they are clear, call them clear. So, yun. Okay, let's start. So, what is a behavior? I'll define it according to Cooper. So, behavior is the activity of the living organisms. Human behavior is everything people do, including how they move, what they say, think, and feel. However, when there is a behavior, most of our behaviors or all of our behaviors are triggered by the environment. So yan, magka-partner yan. Kung may behavior, may environment. So we behave the way we behave because we react to the environment. Okay? So yan. So let's start with the basic assumptions para same page tayo. So number 1, behavior is individual. So all people exhibit behavior. We all have behaviors, no? Wala kang behaviors, patay ka na. Number two, behavior is continuous. It never stops and it changes over time. Okay, your crying now may be different from your crying tomorrow because iba yung function nun, iba yung reason. And then behavior is determined. So it is determined by its functional relationship with the environment. Okay, in ABA, there is no such thing as it happened out of the blue. You behave because something in the environment triggered it. For example, you and your student, no, may lesson kayo, no, smooth yung lesson nyo. Every day, your lesson smooth na yan. And then all of a sudden, umiyak yung bata. The child cried not because out of the blue, she wanted to cry. There is something in the environment that triggered it. Okay, maaring the lesson is too difficult, gusto niya yung attention mo, or may masakit. So merong nag-trigger doon sa behavior. And then behavioral variability is extrinsic. So behavioral variability is caused by extra variables in the environment. For example, your student cried again dahil mainit or malamig. That mainit or malamig are extra variables that affected the behavior. So yan yung ating assumptions of behavior. Now, let's define ABA. While ago, we defined behavior. Now, we will define ABA. So ABA is a scientific approach for discovering environmental variables that reliably influence socially significant behavior and for developing a technology of behavior change that takes practical advantage of those discoveries by Cooper. Now, hindi ko rin yan naintindihan. Okay? So let's try to task analyze it or himayin natin kung ano yan for us to be able to understand it. Okay. Number one, it is a scientific approach. So scientific approach obviously may structure. It's evidence-based. What else? It's logical. It merong process. Good. Good. We are all defining it together. What? Why do you need those process, the evidence-based? For what? For discovering environmental variables. Now, again, environmental variables that will affect the behavior. Okay. Medyo lumilinaw na. Next, why do we need, again, the relationship between the behavior and the environment? For what? To influence socially significant behavior. Now, what is socially significant behavior? Okay. Let's see. Ibig lang sabihin ng socially significant behavior is the behavior that you're going to teach is important for your client. For example, yung pinag-usapan namin kanina, no? Dito sa table nila, Ma'am Barbara. Example, ito na si Ma'am Donna, you design a program. Ang ganda yung program na dinesign ni Ma'am Donna para sa kanyang special kid. Washing of hands. How to wash your hands. Tinas-analyze na, meaning hinimay na ni Ma'am Donna. Turn on the faucet. Wet hands, soap hands, rinse hands, turn off the faucet. Very nice. Well written. Ang galing din, naturo ni Ma'am Donna. Very good. Now, etong problema. Wala palang gripo ang bata sa bahay nila, kundi tabo at timba. Tabo at timba ang meron. Now, do you call that environmentally supportive? No. So when you design your program, you see to it that the environment can support your program. Okay? Klaro yan, ha? So now, next, developing technology. Now, kailangan natin malaman yan, the relationship again of the behavior and the environment for what? To develop a technology. Technology is your intervention. Okay? Your intervention for what? Why do you need the intervention for? For behavior change. So now you just have to take advantage of all those discoveries. Okay? All right. Next. Here. So here, in layman's term, we will simplify. Ito lang ang ibig sabihin ng ABA. It's a set of principles that focus on how behaviors change or are affected by the environment, as well as how learning takes place. Now, we know the definitions of behavior, the effect of the environment to the behavior. Now, we are ready to define what is a legitimate ABA. I'm sure you notice, ang dami-daming lumalabas na ng mga therapy centers claiming to be ABA, I am this, I know ABA, I can change behavior, I can reverse autism, and all these promises. But now, eto ngayon, I think I will guide you, pati yung mga ating online listeners, what is a legitimate ABA? Ano ba talaga ang totoong ABA? I think that's what you want to know, di ba? Now, meron tayong tinatawag na 7 dimensions of ABA. Yung 7 dimensions of ABA, galing yan sa research ni Baer, Wolf, and Grizzly in 1968. Yan yung most quoted research sa ABA. Now, ano yung 7 dimensions? And I'll explain it later on kung isa-isa yan. So, tandaan nyo yung acronym na BAT, CAGE. B for behavioral, A is for applied, T is for technological, C is for conceptually systematic, A is for analytical, G is for generality, and E is for effective. Now, for an ABA to be authentic, it has to have these 7 dimensions. Okay, so let's see. Ano ba ang behavioral? Number 1, dapat meron kayong behavior. Kung walang behavior, anong ABA natin? Correct? So now, behavioral, very important. The behavior should be well-defined, it should be operationally defined, that it is observable and measurable. If the behavior is not measurable and observable, again, it's very difficult for you teachers to be effective. So what is behavior and observable? Let's say, si Ma'am Barbara may estudyante. Yung estudyante niya yon very naughty to the point that it disrupts the class. So pumunta si Ma'am Barbara kay Mami, Mami, ang naughty ng anak mo. Now, sabi naman ng Mami, huwag kang mag-alala, Teacher Barbara, gagawin ko siyang maging mabait. Now, that in itself, yung definition na ng behavior nyo, you will never be an effective teacher. Why? Because what is naughty? What is mabait? Is that observable and measurable? No. So kahit anong gawin mo, you will not be able to address the naughty and the mabait. So how do you address those behaviors? Number 1, you have to redefine the behavior into observable and measurable terms. For example, Ma'am, yung anak nyo ay naughty po kasi nangungurot siya ng classmate niya. Then that behavior, the pinching behavior, is observable and measurable. Now, if the behavior increases, then your intervention is not effective. I did not say you. Your intervention is not effective. Then, if the pinching decreases, then your intervention is effective. Minsan, even the husband and wife, away sila, galit ako, basta. Eh, wala, hindi talaga kayo magkakasundo because ano yung galit ka, ano yung basta. So you operationally define that. Galit ako sa'yo kasi hindi mo ako dinidate. Yan, operationally defined. Di ba, Mami? Relate na? So, yun lang. So, number 1, you define the behavior. Or first check if the behavior is observable and measurable. If not, then you redefine the behavior and make it observable and measurable. Okay, that's number 1. Number 2 is applied. We already discussed that. Applied, it should be socially significant to the client, not to you. Again, example, may bata ka, Ma'am Barbara ulit, may kid ka. Ang ingay-ingay ng bata mo doon sa klase. Ang ingay. Now, do you want the child to keep quiet? Gusto mo ba siyang turuan how to behave in class? Or pinapatigil mo dahil naiirita ka? Sige, ganun. Sino yung may social significance yun? Yung bata ba o ikaw? Yeah. So again, it has to be socially significant. And number 2, technological. As a teacher, yan ang pinaka-importante sa inyo. Ano ang technological? Dapat i-design mo yung intervention mo in such a way that anyone can implement that. You think of a recipe. If I have a recipe of a banana cake and I give you my recipe, dapat makuha mo yung lasa. Pag nakuha mo yung lasa ng tama, then you did your intervention. You designed your intervention clearly. Kasi halimbawa, for example, again, si Teacher A is collecting data. Please collect crying, no? Data ng crying. Kasi chinecheck mo nga kung effective or ineffective yung intervention mo. So crying. Sulat mo na yan ni Teacher A. Umabsent siya. Binigay niya kay Teacher B. So, number 1, hindi niya inoperationally defined at hindi technological. Sabi, Teach, paki-check nga yung, continue mo nga yung data collection ko. Kasi mag-absent lang ako 1 day. Then binigay niya kay Teacher B, biglang nag-shoot up yung behavior. Okay? Actually, hindi dahil sa behavior, yung data collection ni Data B, because si Data A did not operationally define crying. Okay, yung crying pala ni Data A, yung may luha. Yung crying ni Data B, pati whining, complaining, nilagay niya doon. See, kita niyo doon, meron ng discrepancy. Why? Because the behavior is not operationally defined. I think you're seeing the importance now of that. Now, next, conceptually systematic. Conceptually systematic, meaning lahat ng intervention nyo dapat evidence-based. Okay? And then analytical, there has to be a functional relationship between, again, the behavior and the intervention. Okay, yung behavior mo, yung improvement ng behavior mo, dapat because of the intervention. Now, one of the most important things in ABA, dapat mag-match yung behavior mo at intervention. Yung behavior or yung need ng bata at yung intervention. Pag hindi yun nag-match, forget it. Forget it, hindi mo yan ma-address yung behavior. Okay? And then generality. Again, alam niyo to mga SPED, no? Yung hierarchies of learning. I hope you know that, mga SPED. Ano ba yung hierarchies ng learning? You have skill acquisition, fluency, application, or generalization, or mastery, then later on, adaptability. Now, naturuan mo na yung bata, may skill acquisition, may fluency. Now, teacher ka, SPED, naituro mo na yung ABC. Ang galing ng bata, ABC, no? Alam niya, pati paatras, alam niya. Then one day, dumating si mami sa'yo. Teacher, parang hindi mo yata tinuturuan yung anak ko. Hindi siya marunong ng ABC. But it's not true. May mastery yung bata. Alam na alam niya. However, there, you failed to teach generality. Nag-stop ka na sa mastery. Ang generality, dapat kaya niyang i-recite ang ABC kay Teacher A, kay Teacher B, kaya niya, kay Teacher C, kaya niya, sa bahay, kaya niya, kahit kanino kaya niya. Only then you can say na meron ng learning. Kung yung bata nakaka-generalize across person, across setting, across time, and across behaviors. Okay, and the last, obviously, effective. There has to be a significant change. Okay, yan. Pag may violation ka dyan, yan, it's not ABA. So now, ABA, nasaan kayo sa dimensions ng ABA? Kunwari, ABA kayo, therapist kayo, nasaan kayo sa mundo ng behavior analysis? Let's say, let's look at that. Meron tayong tinatawag na 4 dimensions of ABA. Now, hindi ko na yan isa-isahin, pero sabihin ko lang kung nasaan kayo. Now, everything, lahat ng ABA nag-start yan sa radical behaviorism ni B.F. Skinner. Hindi ko na papasukin si B.F. Skinner. So, radical behaviorism. So, yan, ano ang radical behaviorism? Those are the theories of ABA. So, yan nanggaling yung mga philosophies and theories. Now, ano ba ang theory? No? Ang theory is pwede mong sabihin, in real life scenario, pwede mong sabihin, itong batang ito magaling. But that's just a theory. You still have to prove that yung batang yan ay magaling. So yan ang theory. So ang ABA, galing yan yung theory ng behaviorism. Of course, you have to prove na yung bata ay magaling. No? Okay, prove mo that ABA is effective. So i-test nila yan sa lab. Ito na yung mga test nila Skinner sa lab. No? Yung mga pigeons, yung mga cats, yung mga dogs. So doon nga, because of that test, nakita nga nila na may dalawang behavior. This is the respondent and the operant conditioning. So now, they were able to prove, now, it works. Ganon din sa bata, no? I will make a parallel example. So yung batang yon, in-observe mo sa classroom nga. Kung magaling, no? You observe. However, ito kasi, in-observe mo yung experimental analysis in the lab. So both sa lab and the classroom, that is a very contrived and controlled environment. Okay? So ngayon, ang ginawa nila sa radical behaviorism, nung nakita nga nila na, oy, nag-work sa animal, trinay nila sa human. They applied it outside the lab. That is ABA. So like you, after observing the child inside the classroom, you observe the child outside, like sa playground, sa canteen. And then in ABA, nakita mo ng effective sa human, then pwede nang dalhin yan sa mga bata directly. That is the behavior service delivery. Yan yung ABAT. Yan na yung after your training, you learn about the concepts of ABA, then you can now apply it, no, directly to the child. So yan yung way. So ngayon, pag nakita mo ng magaling nga yung bata, then you can say, wow, magaling yung bata, pwede ko na siyang pakawalan, no, to play with other kids. So yan yung dimensions, the domains of ABA. So being a certified applied behavior analyst, doon kayo sa behavior service delivery. Now, alam nyo na, where are you? So let's go to direct na, may kid na kayo. So first, in order for you to address a behavior, you have to identify the target behavior. Now, when you identify the target behavior, you have to do an indirect assessment. Okay? So ano yung indirect assessment? First, you have to ask. Ask the parents, ask the caregivers, ask yung mga, persons involved in the caring of the child. There, you have to identify the target behavior. However, yung results mo, yung data collected, are not 100% accurate. Why? Because this is subjective. Okay? Subjective yan. And then once you identify, you check what behavior can you address. Like I said, you have to ask yourself, is the behavior observable or measurable? So observable if it's visible, noticeable, recognizable, and obvious. Okay? Or in short, they are the overt behaviors. Now, check if it's measurable, quantifiable, accessible, computable, or resolvable. Again, pag hindi, you can redefine the behavior. Now, eto bang next question? Am I addressing behavior or not? Kasi kung hindi yan behavior, hindi mo yan ma-address, no? Kung hindi mo ma-redefine, hindi mo ma-address. So how can you tell if it's a behavior or not? Now, because if it's not a behavior, forget it. Now, the dead man's test, you can use the dead man's test by Ogden Lindsley. Ano ba ang dead man's test? If a dead man can do it, it isn't a behavior. And if a dead man can do it, then it's a behavior. So let's simplify that. For example, walking. Okay, walking. Can a dead man walk? No, then it's a behavior. You can address that using ABA. Ganon lang yon. When in doubt. Anxiety. Meron bang anxiety ang dead man? No. Ma-anxiety, then it's not a behavior. However, anxiety is not observable and measurable. You redefine it. Okay? And then getting wet in the rain. Okay, a dead man, pwedeng mabasa? Yes. Therefore, it's not a behavior. Now, one of my students said, Teacher Gina, no. Kasi underground na yung dead man. Hindi na yan mabasa. Okay? So, now, pinching, kicking, obviously, a dead man cannot do it. It's a behavior. So, when in doubt, always go back to the dead man's test. Okay? Now, next. Now, you collect data. So, dito sa data collection, ito na yung direct assessment mo. You directly observe the child. You directly observe the child to validate yung data mo doon sa indirect assessment. Because here, dito, objective ka na. You collect and gather data. And then, why do you need to collect data? Because here, you need to determine the strengths and weaknesses of the child. And then, pag na-determine mo na yan, then you can come up with a hypothesis. Then, pag may hypothesis ka na, then you can say that, yeah, I can design now my behavior intervention plan. Now, let's say, hindi lahat ng behaviors ay kailangan ng intervention. For example, yung kid mo nanuntok. Isang beses lang naman siya nanuntok eh. Hindi mo na kailangan ng intervention yon. So, doon papasok yung data collection ninyo. Now here, of course, you have to collect, analyze, and interpret data. That's why don't base your decision on I think, I know, I feel. Dapat meron kayong data. Then, pag may data ka na, Pwede mo nang sabihin, yes, this behavior is worthy of intervention, or this behavior is not worthy of intervention. Then only then you can design your program. Okay? So in designing a program for ABA, it's very easy. Actually, ang goal mo lang sa ABA is tatlo. Do you want to increase the behavior, decrease the behavior, or maintain the behavior? That's it. Increase, decrease, or maintain. And in your goal, in designing goal, napakadali din. You just have the context, behavior, and criteria. Context, where do you want that behavior to happen? In class, in school, at home, there. And then number 2, ano yung target behavior mo? Criteria is the level of mastery. For example, saying polite words. So for the child to be able to say polite words for kunwari pangalan ng bata is Mario. Okay, for Mario, when Mario is inside the classroom, then he should use polite words at least 4 out of 5 opportunities. Ba ganon, very easy lang. Context, behavior, and criteria. So there, this is an example. Gusto mo yung bata to raise his or her hand, behavior, context, classroom, criteria, at least 3 times per session. Okay? Now, you're ready for your intervention? Kasi you see, hindi ka basta-basta mag-intervention right away. There is a process. You collect data, you observe the child, you come up with a hypothesis, then design a program. Then in your intervention, dito mo na gagamitin yung 3-term contingency. We will not discuss this in depth kasi nga wala tayong time. So meron tayong antecedent, behavior, and consequence. Yan yung ginawa natin kanina, how to identify the target behavior. What is your behavior? What is your target behavior? Yung target behavior mo has to be very, very clear. Otherwise, mawala ka rin. Diba? Clear, operationally defined, and then ano yung antecedent mo? What happened before the behavior? May dalawa yan, but I will not discuss that because it's too technical. SD and MO, but in layman's term, what triggered the behavior? And then what did you do after the behavior? Or what did the child do after the behavior? Then yan, once you have that, then you can come up with your intervention. These are the examples of interventions which I will not discuss. I wanted to show you that there are specific interventions depending on where you are, depending on the temporal contiguity, meaning temporal contiguity, how close yung sa behavior. So if it's before the behavior, there are your antecedent interventions. If the behavior is already existing or it's there, or you want the behavior to increase, nandyan yung skill acquisition. If you want to reduce the behavior, nandyan din. So if you see, ABA is very structured. So anong gusto mo, no? You want to prevent the behavior? Do you want the behavior to increase? Do you want the behavior to decrease? So yan, merong mga interventions. Now, what is the importance? Ano yung importance ng ABA? Why is ABA important? Number 1, it's evidence-based that is proven effective to improve behaviors, such as communication, social skills, and academic performance. Now, here, before I end, my important reminders, please operationally define the behavior and then practice ABA ethically. Okay? So, that's all. And if you have any questions, I hope you learned something.